Hello everyone and happy Friday. Hopefully, I'm a few minutes late, so hopefully I have a few folks join me. I'm just gonna pull this up on the iPad. I can see it. And we will see if we get any joiners. All right. Okay, so I have a rough plan, very rough, and if you watch my videos, you know that's how I roll. What I want to do is, I have this stamp set Encircled in Warmth, and it was the focus of a very recent online class to go that I did. And so I just wanted to continue to work with it. I'm going to make a non-Christmas card, but using the Tidings of Christmas DSP and using the non-holiday greeting, hello Carol, in the stamp set, this You Warm My Heart. It's quite a big greeting. And the last card I made with it, I used the layering circles. Hi Casey. But I wanted to try not using the layering circles. So I have an idea, which may or may not work. We're going to use these pieces of the DSP. So you can see they are the back sides of these patterns. Sahara Sand is the color that we have here. This is Cherry Cobbler. I don't actually have any Sahara Sand cardstock. I used it all, and so I have to get creative, and I forgot to order more. So I'm actually gonna use soft suede. And I thought that that's just kind of brings a nice rich color palette actually to what we've got going on here. So we're going to use this as our full background. We're gonna figure out a shape for this. I was thinking it might be a square or a rectangle. We might cover it with some vellum just to kind of mute it a little, but I'm not 100% sure on that yet. Hello, Sandra. And then what I thought we might do, and we'll see what it looks like. So we might actually start with this piece because that's kind of gonna give us what we're gonna wanna do for the rest of the card. I thought we might use this shape, which will be big enough for the Warm My Heart. And then I thought we might stamp the U separately and fussy cut it and play around with that. So that is the plan. And of course, as you know, my plans don't always come to fruition, but we're gonna start there. So I think I might have enough soft suede though that we can stamp on it. I've got some 12 by 12. So I actually do have enough to make a card base with. But I kind of, now that I've pulled out the soft suede, Sahara Sand, I kind of like it. And I want to sort of see where that's going to get us. So I'm going to cut a piece out so we can do this. And we're gonna see how this works. And you're gonna have to excuse me clearing my throat repeatedly. It's just this lingering kind of, not even a cough really, just a sort of, I don't know, huskiness that I can't get rid of. So the last time I stamped this in Cherry Cobbler, I might do that again. And then I might do the U in soft suede. So I think what we're going to have to do though, so you're gonna see, I'm gonna be tricky here, or try to be. We're gonna mostly ink it up with the ink pad, but we're gonna have to do a tiny bit with the marker, or we're just gonna have to clean off this bit here. So that's what I was trying to avoid. So this is the tricky bit when that's not a clear stamp. Okay. So now I'm going to just use the marker to get that bit of the W and over here. I'm gonna see if I can get that bit of the my. Yeah, okay, we're good. I don't think I can quite get that bit of the W though without, oh, not bad. Okay, I'll just clean this bit off. The only reason I'm trying, I just find you just get a richer color when you use the ink pad than you do the marker, but we'll see what happens. All right, I'm gonna roughly line this up. And then I'm going to move this out of the way. I just wanna sort of roughly know I'm gonna have enough room. Okay, so that is good. Now we're gonna clean the stamp. I always like to stamp a bit off first. Get as much ink as you can off on your scrap paper. I mean, not that it matters. My chamois is like covered in ink, right? Still works. All right, and now we're gonna do the U. And now I'm trying to decide if I do it in white I do it in red. I want to do it on the soft suede. Let's see if I have a scrap of that before I get too crazy. I do not. It's funny that I have all this soft suede because it's not really a color I use that often, but here I have tons of it. I obviously bought it to go with something. All right. We're gonna see how this looks. We're playing around, like I said. This is a very creative process right now. So I'm gonna do some Versamark, and I'm gonna just try to get the U, which is gonna be next to impossible, but that's okay. I'm gonna do my best. And I'm gonna just put it down in the corner here. Oh, look at that. I did quite a good job. Wow, I'm pretty impressed. And then we are gonna get some white embossing powder on there. Because I waited a little bit, I'm just gonna really let it sit on there. Shake it off. Okay, perfect. Love it. And then you can do a couple of things. A paintbrush works really nicely. And I thought I had one and I was gonna start keeping it at my desk here. I think that every time and then I don't. The other thing that works nicely is just a sponge. You can also use the, I'll show you, the gummy bit of your Take a Pick tool, but I actually stopped using that because then I found you ended up with embossing powder on it. So if you've got a little bit of sponge, makeup sponge, paintbrush, Q-tip even would be good. All right, let's emboss that. Now, I did miss this tiny little bit of the U. I'm not gonna redo it. And we're gonna fussy cut this. And we're gonna hope that we actually like it. So I can't remember whose video I was watching. I was watching somebody fussy cut recently. And I know when I fussy cut, I always tell you, not so much on words, but when you fussy cut an image, let's say there are no dies, or you just don't have the dies, then I always say you can go right to the line or you can leave a border. I always leave a border. But whoever I was watching did make a good point of saying when we have the dies always leave a small border around the image. So it makes sense that if we're fussy cutting, we do the same. I love fussy cutting really nice, big, scripty font like this. I think it looks so nice. And this is actually pretty easy. You can see it's pretty simple for me to get in here and cut around this. It's always nice fussy cutting around lettering that you've embossed. I don't know, it just seems easier to cut around for some reason. All right, almost done here. I'll be excited if this sort of, whoops, ooh, that looks so pretty. This would be really pretty to combine with like anything, gosh. Okay. Sometimes the last bit can be the trickiest. And I don't know about you, I assume everyone is sort of the same. Like, we only cut in one direction. You know, I think it's to do with whether you're right-handed or left-handed. Old Navy. I feel like I'm missing something. I have to, it's doing really weird things with the comments. Oh, hello, Christy Anderson and Lori. Hello. Old Navy. I don't know what you mean. What do you mean, Sandra? Old Navy. Okay, there's our U. I love it. Okay, I've got a mess, as is the standard. It's okay. Okay. Okay, so what I'm envisioning, we're gonna die cut this, and then we're gonna kind of put this U sort of somewhere where it's still gonna allow us to know that we're saying, "You warm my heart," is what I'm thinking. May or may not work, but we're gonna give it a try. So let's die cut this. We'll give it a whirl. May work, may not. You know that I am happy to just kind of go with the flow, see what we can get to work while we're all here together. Center that. Run it through the mini. Try not to hit the face of the iPad that I am watching your comments on. It's so weird now. It hides your comments all the time. Oh, there they are. I don't get it. Okay. All right, there is our die cut. And then I think we're gonna like pop that up there. We don't need that. I'm gonna put this away so I don't lose it, folks, right? Nobody likes to be looking for a missing die. All right, now I'm gonna do the card lengthwise in case we want to tie a ribbon or twine. So I'm cutting it at 4 1/4 by 11. All right, 4 1/4 by 11. Now, you can score, you can just fold in half. When I'm just making cards like this one-off for myself, or, you know, eventually this is gonna go to someone, I usually don't bother scoring. If I'm doing a bunch, custom order or class prep, then I usually score. So, you know, so doesn't matter. Okay, when I did a card like this before, I roughed up the corner and I really liked that look. So we're gonna do that again. Just kind of break up the fibers in the paper. And you can kind of decide. Last time I just did the corner. I might kind of do the edge. Just kind of gives it a neat feel. Okay, I'm gonna put some dimensionals behind this. So we're gonna use minis. We could use black. I've been using the black more and more. When I use dark cardstock. I think I will use white though on this one. So I'm just gonna put a few, stagger them around here. And then what we can do out here is, you can see I've already done it a bunch of times, is I will just cut a tiny little strip off the bit that goes around. And the thin ones are good because there's a big thick piece, or the mini. So I just cut a tiny little piece and then I peel it off the backing. And then I can just use that on the end of our word there, like that. Right? And so then we can pop that up here. We could kind of, ooh, maybe we'll do it like that. So I probably didn't need all those dimensionals. Okay. And if we bring this in, kind of put that at an angle. So what I'm gonna do is I'm only gonna put adhesive where it's not wrinkled. So I don't know, maybe you don't like the wrinkled effect. I think it looks kind of neat. And then I want to work some of this in here. So I'm kind of trying to figure out how we want to do that though. Maybe we just want to have like a strip. The card that I made before with this, I had stripes, but I kind of don't know if I want that. I might just want a square, like if we could do a square, right? And we could always cover it, like I said, in the vellum. Kind of tones it down a little. Although I don't know, maybe we don't want it toned down. Maybe we want it bold. Maybe we kind of want it like that. We can't really angle it because it's got a distinct pattern. This is where I suppose I should have known what I was doing. But maybe we can't use both. Maybe this is too much. Do not tone it down. Yeah, okay. All right. Bold is better. Hello, Christina. Okay, I think I am going to, I'm going to cut this in half. This might be in half already. No. All right, I'm going to cut one of these in half. So I'm going to make it 3. These are 6 by 6 sheets, right? All right, so I'm going to cut it in half. And we're going to have that. And then I'm thinking I might just kind of do like a strip there. We might just need like another shape behind it. Then maybe this kind of goes on an angle, kind of like that. And maybe we'll wrinkle the edges of that too. So I'm gonna cut this kind of there-ish. Do you like this? This is super exact. There-ish. All right, let's see where there-ish ends up being. There-ish is right there, which is what? 4 1/8. Wow, very exact, folks, very exact. All right, 4 1/8. Gonna rough up these edges. So maybe you can kind of have it going the other way. Then this is gonna like pop up. And we're gonna have this popped up on top. And then we're gonna have a bunch of twine, I think. Or we could do the white, this guy, because I finally got some more. All right, we're getting it now, folks. It's coming together. It's coming together. Okay. I'm going to at least figure out where this is gonna sit. And put on these dimensionals. So I put a bunch on here and we might not need them now. And that's A-okay. Okay, so we're gonna do that. We're gonna do that. We're gonna put dimensionals on the back of this guy. I have some big ones on my table. And then what we're actually gonna do, we're gonna need another one here because it's gonna be double off of it. So I'm gonna layer another one there because then it'll sit like that. Okay. Yes, good. And then, so we can either play with this ribbon or we can play with some twine. So we'll do a bit of both. We'll see what we like. Right, so we can kind of like have this on here, and then you've got sort of some trailing white ribbon. That's kind of pretty. What do you guys think of that? I like it. What do other people think? I guess it doesn't really matter what you think, but you know, I'm always curious what folks think. So then if we kind of, we're gonna have this ribbon trailing here. We're gonna have this ribbon. Oh, Sandra, yay. Okay, let's do it. Love it. See, it doesn't have to be complicated, but it doesn't mean that your creative process doesn't still take some time. So, you know, designing takes time. It just does. And it's frustrating even to me sometimes. So I don't know if you guys get frustrated sometimes with your own card making. You're like, oh my gosh, like it took me 45 minutes or an hour to come up with this one, you know, card. But it's just, sometimes they come together super quick and other times they don't. And that's okay. So what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna just put like a tiny dot of glue, because we obviously don't want our paper coming off the card base. But I like that there's this texture, these bumps, right? That it shows that it's kind of, it's not perfect. That to me is fun. So then we can kind of do that like that. Oh, I hear my lacrosse people are home on time today. So we can angle that the opposite, or we can kind of angle it the same. I think I like it angled the same, actually, that kind of orientation. But I don't know what you guys think. That's what I'm gonna go with, but unless you really speak up and you're like, no, that's terrible. Which, you know, that's fine. You can tell me that. That's why we're all here together, right? Same, okay. All right, so again, I've got like just a little snick of glue in each of those corners. And then I am just gonna kind of throw that bow down. I'm gonna figure out where, yeah, right? It just kind of, I'm just gonna stick some glue. Stick it down. And then we're just gonna take these dimensionals off. I'm gonna stick that back on there. And we're gonna just stick that down like that. Now, I'm gonna cut this so it's actually on our card. And I'm gonna cut this one so it's on the card too. Otherwise, it's just all hanging out in your envelope. Okay, so now we could embellish with all sorts of things. So when I made a card with these before, I embellished with these, the brushed metallic gems. We could also use these, the wonderful gems. We also have these matte decorative dots in the cherry cobbler. So what do you guys think? Do we stick with the cherry cobbler? Do we bring in some of these? Do we not embellish it at all? Let's see what some of these guys look like. I like these that are they're kind of neat because they have this, you know, they bring in that sort of brown. So I don't know, can you guys see that? What do you think? Or do we maybe not put that one up there, bring it down? This is why I never push on my embellishments until I'm 100% sure where I want them to go. So we can kind of do that. I don't know, can you guys see it? I'm gonna bring it up closer. So there's 3 there of that guy. Or like I said, we could put this one back up here. Or we could go cherry cobbler. Let's see what the medium. Right, you could do that instead. So I'm going to take one of those off just so you can see. We could do the cherry cobbler dots up so we can see it. Okay, so now what do you guys think? So we could do those instead of this. Or, so many choices. The matte, okay. I lost my adhesive there. The cherry cobbler, okay. We got more than 1 vote for the cherry cobbler, which totally works for me. Oh, 3 votes. Hello, Teresa. Haven't had you on here in a long time. How are you, my friend? All right, we're going with the cherry cobbler. So I'm gonna take those off. All right, I'm using the middle size and I'm using the middle, oh, that's the dark one. I want to use the middle one. So we can kind of do that. Don't be sorry you're late. Don't be ever sorry you're late. It's always nice to see you. All right, so we could do all 3 like on here. I kind of like one sort of up here. I don't know what you guys think. We could also do 5, I guess. We could always put in a tiny one. There, what do we think of that? So I've got 2 here, I've got 1 there, I got 1 up here, and 1 down there. Or maybe 2 little guys over here, 1 big guy. Or we could do that. Oh, did you guys like the first one, or should I change it so there's 2 littles, a big and the bigs? Well, you can tell me if you think I should change it. All right, yay. Okay, well, we're just over half an hour. I usually try to stick to half an hour, but when I totally don't know what I'm doing. So as always, thank you for your contributions, because I feel like, you know, we made this card together then. There, fun. 2 little, okay. Love it. Thank you, Chris. Okay, there you go, my friends. So just an example of how this beautiful stamp set, I love this stamp set. It's got all these beautiful Christmas ones, but it's got this other one, which this could be Christmassy. But this paper, which is typically, you know, Tidings of Christmas, but I just want to show you how you can use it in sort of non-Christmassy type projects. So thank you. Have a lovely evening. And yeah, I will try to get back on here again soon, but Unfortunately, life is a bit chaotic with schedules and the such, and so I don't like to make promises I can't keep, which is why I try to be a little bit more spontaneous. All right, guys, have a great night.